Steve and Jill here.
Hello.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Stephen Jack Butala.
And I'm Jill DeWitt, broadcasting from sunny Southern California.
Today, Jill and I talk about the hottest land market out there.
You know, when I first started to read this topic yesterday, I said, today Jill and I talk about the hottest. And I'm like, what are you going to talk about
where's
the
he
hottest?
going with that?
Oh, no, this could be bad.
Maybe he's finally done it.
I know.
He's finally gone off the end.
Hottest? Like, are my days numbered?
What?
Other hot people?
No.
I didn't know.
There's no other hot people besides you, Jill.
Thank you.
Trust me.
Thanks. That was good, though.
Some people, they're in the public for long enough, they just go nuts. They start talking about politics. They get real mad about everything.
That's funny.
I hope that's never me.
Me too.
Before we get into the topic, though, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free.
Milan asks, I'd like to point out, by the way, this person, talk about what we give forward. This person's not a member. Never been a member, asked a lot of questions, been flipping. He's been a non-member following us for years.
I wonder where he gets his data.
I don't know. It's a good question.
I'm sure he's offers to owners customer.
He might be using because I have some of our companies. I have little a la carte versions.
Yeah.
So I suspect Milan might be using some of our a la carte things, which is fine.
There's no cheaper place to get data, and there's no cheaper place to send mail.
Exactly.
Both of those things. Like if you do this for houses, land, or any type of real estate.
Right.
Period. I mean, so.
Exactly.
Whatever he's doing, he's figured it out, apparently.
It's great. So it said, Milan asks, questions for Steve and Jill, respectively. Jill, you're a mountain land kind of girl. What land or lands did you keep and didn't sell from your past acquisitions, and why?
That's a good question.
Tell us a little about them. That's funny. Steve, you're a little house on the prairie kind of prairie land kind of guy. Which lands did you keep from your long-time acquisitions, and why? Tell us a little about them. The reason I'm asking is because I simply love land.
Good. Obviously you do, Juan.
Exactly.
So do I.
You want to go first?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Are you a mountain kind of girl? Mountain land?
Well, if I had to pick, as far as rural vacant land goes, Milan is correct. I'm not a big prairie. Rolling hills out there. I want trees and mountains and that kind of thing. That's what I want. So my favorite properties, and like the one I'd really want you to hang on to, is some of our, Arrowhead and Big Bear and Riverside, because we can get to it so easily from here, kind of land. So those are my favorites. I don't know if we have any more in inventory. I kind of held on to Milan as long as I could, and then I what happens?
That's what happens.
Here's what happens. So you hang on to it as long as you can. Yeah. You're like, oh, I love it. And then you realize, why am I hanging on to this? I'm not going to use it now. And when I'm going to use it, I'll go buy another one. It's totally fine. I know how to do that. So I can let this go.
You answered the question for me.
That's exactly what happens. So, but those are the types that I like, where I want pretty trees and hills, and where there's going to be snow, but I'm not stuck in the snow. I'm not trapped. I'm not 4 hours from civilization.
Well said.
I don't like that.
So I'm all types of land lover too. Yeah. But I agree with Jill. That little picture of a cabin with the stream running next to it, generating its own electricity with a little paddle wheel kind of thing. I mean, I want the same thing that that everybody does. So it turns out we have a piece of property like that, Jill and I, in northern New Mexico in Chama Valley, that I bought in a tax auction long before I ever met Jill, and she's only seen pictures, so
you won't let that one go.
I just won't. And so will we ever use it? Like, there's a 99% chance we'll never use it, probably never see it. But there's something about that piece of property. The tax bill comes every year, and I whip out the checkbook as fast as I can. So
yeah.
These things. I used to have a whole subdirectory of property that I would keep.
Property, yeah.
Called. It was in our kids' names, actually. And it's just what Jill said. It's like, what are we doing?
Right.
We pay the taxes on this every year.
We can go get more.
We can go within the stroke of a pen. Jam a bunch of letters through offers to owners and knowingly pay not rock bottom prices like we do, but pay like half of what the retail instead of like 20%, and pick up any kind of property that we want. At this point in our life, here's the real answer to the question. We'll just go buy a house. That picture I just painted, and overpay for it, because there's so many other properties that we can turn to pay for it. It doesn't make sense to actually
hang on to the land and build
hang
our
on to
own.
it, or obsess on this piece of dirt that you bought really to resell.
Right.
So now if Jill and I want to buy something, any kind of asset, a boat or any of that stuff, we send out a bunch of letters and we buy it for 20% of what you would have paid for it if it's listed on the internet.
Exactly.
So there's a huge value in this question. If you want to buy your next primary residence, this is how you do it.
It's true.
You know?
That's very true.
I think I answered it.
You did.
Today's topic: the hottest land market in the country. Or what is the hottest land market right now? This is actually a very, very useful show. It's the meat of the show. On Realtor.com, I'm going to directly answer the question. If it's all right with you.
You should.
On Realtor.com, both Realtor.com and Redfin.com have a huge data component that's all free that no one knows about. So, Realtor.com itself allows you to download some data that they've compiled all over the country based on zip code and based on MSA and several other variables to see. And then they wrote an algorithm, basically what's the lowest days on market, a bunch of statistics, and then they rank them. So if you want to know where it makes the absolute most sense to buy, let's say, an infill lot, this is not for rural vacant land. Those zip codes aren't in this because not enough property changes hands to make it a hot market. Huge component of the hotness of a market is days on market. The lower the better. Days on market, if you don't know, means this. You list a piece of property and 7 days later it's under contract or it sells. So days on market would be 7 days. And every municipality looks at that differently. Sometimes it's when it goes under contract it's off the market. Sometimes when it's closed and recorded it's off the market. So it's not a complete apples to apples comparison, but it'll get you there way more than never looking at it at all. So And so, obviously, everyone hopefully is running to Realtor.com to find out what the hottest market is right now. Please guess, Joe. You'll never get it, because I fell out of my chair when I saw it.
I'm thinking that it's not Seattle. Is it Dallas?
It's Indianapolis, Indiana.
Oh.
And here's why. The algorithm looks at days on market, and it looks on it's only numbers, right? It doesn't, the weather's not in there, I'm sure.
Ha.
And it looks at things
it's only right now today, like this month. It's not not a year over year.
One of the components of the hotness factor is month over month price increases for that zip code or county or zip code or MSA. And for whatever reason, I think probably because Indiana started at close to zero after the downturn. So it's picking up as a percentage pretty serious. It's good.
Yeah.
And so buying infill lots, that may not work for us. I'm just saying. I personally am not scrambling to go buy real estate infill lots in Indiana, and here's why. We sell infill lots to developers, and I'm not sure that's the hottest new home development market in the country.
Right, just because everything else lines up.
Well, here's why. If an average price of a property in a zip code in let's say, urban Indiana is $80,000,
right,
for a 1,200 square foot house,
right,
there's no way you can build a house for. It's way too low. It's lower than replacement cost. So you'd be better off as a consumer just to go buy an older house and clean it up.
Right.
And builders know that. They're not going to build a masterpiece in an $80,000 house neighborhood and buy an infill lot from you for $20,000 or $30,000. That's just, the math doesn't work. So I cover all of this in Land Academy 2.0.
Right.
You're looking at me like this is too confusing.
Well, no, it's not.
You know what? It is confusing.
Well, you know what?
So is playing the guitar.
Well, I love you. I love you. You're. I'm going to request tie this back into me as land. Tie this back into me. I understand. Should be looking at these figures. Will you please reiterate for me what triggers I should see and how it relates to me and land?
Yes. So, absolutely.
Thank you.
If you live in Indiana, and what you want to do is regionally look at where the days on market are the lowest, and look at an average price where houses are selling, the median household price, that properties are selling for that are, I don't know, 30% above replacement cost. It has to be above replacement cost for this to work.
Can you give me it in land?
Well, that's how you set that.
Okay, so now I got
replacement cost for a house sets the infilot price. You
so
want to
you're
be at
talking
10 to 20%
you're talking
of replacement
the
cost.
hottest. So it's the hottest land, aka infilot market.
Yeah, so this is not rural vacant land at all.
That's where I was a little bit lost right now. I'm just making sure. I'm like, am I missing something here? Are you going to bring? Is there one more level, one more step down? So let's remind everyone, infilot is land. It is really easy.
It's beautiful.
It's let's think about this for just a moment. The reason we're doing this show is because infilots are so valuable and people sometimes miss them. They skate right over the top. Buying an infill lot, a quarter acre or less, even 0.17, who flippin' cares? Infill lot in an awesome subdivision where you already have the access and you already have all that stuff. Again, you can buy it sight unseen. You could do it the same way we do it all, and they're worth even more.
They're worth more. You make more per transaction, and the data
is there.
The data is dramatically there, way more than
that's
other rural vacant land.
For me, that's the whole point here.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to do this show.
It's not by no means replaces rural vacant land.
No.
Everybody loves rural vacant land in our group. But adding a product line the same way, Walmart doesn't sell one product. They don't just sell a coffee maker. They sell lots of products.
Right.
Some products they make money on. Some they not as much. Why should we be any different?
Well, a lot of it is too is this is where a lot of you will naturally progress. You're going to naturally start going, all right, I'm done with these stupid. You're just start realizing, I'm done with these stupid 5 acre, or $500 or $5,000 transactions because the same amount of work goes into it as these other bigger property types, more valuable property types. And let me tell you something even better. These are even easier because if you're spending $20,000 or $15,000, let's just say, on an awesome infill lot that's worth $50,000 because you're going to try and sell it for $30,000, you're doing even less work. Why? Because now you're bringing in a title company, so they're doing it for you. So for me, I even get more excited about these. Yeah. So when when you're ready and you build up your bank balance, you're doing it all right, you're buying stuff for a couple $1,000s, doubling your money. Now you're staring at $50,000 in your account when you started with $5,000. Now you can start, and this is what our members do. Now you start making some different decisions. All right, do I want to keep doing this or I want to do these other ones? Oh, maybe I'll do both. And then watch what happens. Again, this is what happens to a lot of our members. You turn around and you look and go, now you have $200,000 in your account when you started with $5,000. Now, once again, I can start making some different decisions, and then it's then you're history. Then we don't hear from you. is what happens a lot. So
the math is real simple. You're chugging along. You've done 10 deals. You've turned it, and you understand how to get offers out using offerstowners.com.
Right.
And so you're sitting around saying, okay, great, this works. I've made some pretty good money. I want to make more than $15,000 a deal now. I've made $1,000 and $5,000 and all of that, but let's kick this thing up.
Yep.
That's infill lots.
Now you're start buying, or even bigger acreage.
And then you just keep moving up.
Exactly. Thank you.
Well, you've done it again. You spent another 15 minutes or so listening to the Land Academy show. Join us next time where we discuss a profile of people who get it. Why is that funny? Hold on, stop. Why is this funny to you? This whole week this has been going on.
This is actually good. I really like it. These are some very interesting and this is stuff that you and I talk about behiin the scenes.
That's
but
right.
We don't talk about
That's
on the show.
That's exactly what this is.
So that's why I'm laughing because and for everyone. So in case you didn't know, I often don't know the show that's coming until this moment. This is exactly when I know the show that's coming next. So, and it's funny to me because I'm like, are we really going to talk about this? This is hilarious.
We are.
This is hilarious to me. I'm like, and in my head, I'm like, I have a lot to say.
You know what's great about this whole thing is that, we don't need to be here, so we can talk about what we want.
What does that mean?
I just think there's a lot of people who, the space that we're in is real estate, whatever. Real estate education, let's call it.
Okay.
And there's so much negative, bad real estate education of people just trying to swindle you out of money.
Yeah.
That's exactly what this is not.
Right.
We're going to tell you if you should be here or not on this next show. People who get it and
love
people
it.
who don't. And so if that really offends you, then you should go listen to one of these real estate gurus who just blow smoke.
Thank you.
And don't really tell you how to do anything.
Got it.
This is the kind of stuff we talk about at night, Jill and I.
Totally. And what we don't do, no, just kidding. And by the way, if you have some questions, hey, we'd love to answer them right here for you. So please post them on our free online community, and you can find it at landinvestors.com.
You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
I wrote something down, a funny comment that you made.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to ask you about this because you said the components of a hotness marker. And we all know that we talked about for property. That just makes me think of like, I just had a teenage boy thought of, that would be a teenage boy thing.
Oh,
the
do tell us.
components of hotness.
Yeah, so
you know,
go ahead.
like COH. Like I can hear
What's
two
COH?
17-year-old
COH.
boys walk around going, "Hey, COH." Her COH is a 9. I can totally hear that, right? That's right.
I'm writing this down. COH.
The COH is a 9.
Well,
That
what are
COH
they?
is a 2.
What are the COHs for?
components of
girls?
hotness? What is? Oh, his COH is a 5.
I know, but what are they? I wanna know.
Components of hotness for girls. Okay, well, your COH is a.
I don't want my number.
Oh, you want to know?
That's awful.
yours?
No,
Okay,
I'm
all right.
afraid of my number.
All right, I won't give you your number. What the components of hotness are made up against? Appearance.
Appearance. I thought you said parents. I'm like, well, that's not going
Not
to
your
work.
parents. Appearance, your personality, your.
So nebulous, Jill.
Are you a nice person?
Okay.
Your
that's-
appearance. Are you attractive? Personality. Are you a nice person or are you a jerk?
This is awesome.
How about manners? Are you kind and respectful? Do you open the door for us? Do you buy us all drinks when we're out with our friends? This is important to us, everyone, in case you didn't know this. So, hey, anyone listening, if you haven't done this, next time you're out somewhere with your wife and her girlfriends, you need to buy them all a drink. Just flat out say hi.
You know what? You're in the minority.
You show
on
up
this.
late. No, but you need to. You think so?
Yeah.
I think every woman, married or not married, will fall over when her
No.
husband or partner walks up seriously and says, "Hi guys,
It's going to backfire. Don't
I'm
do it.
here. I'm here. Whatever it is, I want to buy you all a drink. What would you like?"
I'll tell you what, Jill.
You think?
Respectfully, you're in the minority.
Well,
'cause
wait a minute. All my friends
most
fall
women-
over when you buy them all
Well, that's
drinks.
because they're your friends and they're in the
Oh.
minority too. But most women are going to say, "What are you spending?" Especially if they're married. Why are you spending $50 of
What?
money of our money buying drinks for other people and specifically other women, even if they are? Absolutely, Jill. I'm telling you.
All right. Well, you know what? Try it and then get back to us. Let me know.
I think I would
I think
recommend
it's
having
great.
that type of conversation with your wife first.
I think it's hot. It's for me. It's a COH.
Okay.
I guess the COH is different for everyone, and we'll leave it at that. Share the fun by subscribing on
ended
iTunes or wherever you are listening. And if you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe. And while you're at it, rate us there. We are Steve and Jill.
Information
And inspiration.
to buy undervalued property.